Hello there, madame. How are you today?
I'm so excited. The high today is going to be -8. I mean, I've got my bikini on. I'm ready to go outside with my little reflector in the snow. Apparently, this will be the warmest day for the next month. Yes.
You're wearing black. I'm wearing my heated sweatshirt today. A gift from my stepdaughter.
Oh, that's lovely.
There's a battery pack in here, and it keeps me toasty
No
all
chance
the
of
time.
self-immolation?
No, but I can bake a potato in my pants if I wait long enough. I don't know why I said that. He can bake a
There's so
potato
many places I should
in
go,
his
but
pants. But thank you, Kelly, my dear, for this, because she knows exactly what to buy for me at Christmas time. So here we
that's
go.
terrific. I use menopause. That used to be my line. I could thaw a turkey overnight in my bed because of the hot flashes.
Okay, well, maybe this is andropause backwards or whatever it is, but
Yeah, but
frileux,
that's cool.
frileux, frileux. That's me all the time.
Yeah. Et cette année, c'est affreuse. C'est trop
Fafret.
froid.
Yeah. Alan Gravelle is our guest today, and I will let you speak about him at length, but I didn't know, I was reading your notes here, I didn't know you guys met at Chaume.
Yeah, my original job at Showm was doing traffic for the morning show, and then the radio gods decided, because in radio, it's a bit like a lotto what kind of person you get to work with. You can work with really nice people. You can work with people that have an ego the size of I won't say it. It's not a political show. But anyway, I got put on the Electric Lunch Hour, a very famous show, which Al did for a number of years. And when I started working with him, it was like, oh my God, such a nice person. We had so much fun. We became instant friends. And so that was back, I think it was like late 80s, early 90s. And then Gord Sinclair thought it would be a terrific idea to put Al and I on evenings together for the Al and Era show, to which I realized, what are they putting in your drinking water? I never considered myself a CJD person with my rather warped sense of humor. And we have done so much together, but to talk about it, I think we should bring on the man himself, who loves winter, by the way, because he skis all the time. He loves that.
Oh, is he one of those? Oh, he's one of those
who likes winter.
He's a skier?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He's the kind of guy when winter comes, he's so happy, wishes it could snow until June.
Okay, so we'll see Alan
but I love him anyway.
joining us. So he likes to ski. Alan Gravelle's a skier. This is going to be a short conversation. Your microphone's off, Alan. Trying to get some...
Try to get it on.
Some unmuting going on.
He's working on it.
Okay.
There you are.
There he is.
Hey,
Ladies and
finally.
gentlemen, the hardest working man in show business, Al Gravelle.
Sure. Look who's talking.
Well, no, because I have the hardest working woman in show business and her cohort here, and this is quite something. How are you, Al?
I'm good. How are you? Long time
We're
no
fine.
see.
Yeah, long time no see here, too.
Yeah.
We're just talking about you. I'll let Era kind of set it up here, but I didn't know you guys went back. I've been humming Ennio Morricone's Shom, Shom, Shom here for the last 15 minutes, because I didn't know you guys go back.
You actually know who performed it or
yes,
wrote it, and yada, yada, yada.
I used to listen to Shom in Ottawa back in the day, and I used to hum that all the time. And I was the only person in the room who knew where that music was from. People thought it was some sort of a custom jingle or something. I said, no.
Yeah. No, it's from a movie, Once Upon a Time in the West.
That's right. But I didn't know you and Era went back to Shom. That's how many years ago was that?
Oh, gosh, that was, I got to show him late 80. Met Era. When did we meet?
Late 80s. It was late 80s.
You were my traffic girl.
Yeah, I was your traffic girl. And the most fun I ever had. I liked Al.
She was not normal.
What?
Well, we could put that on a T-shirt. Yeah.
Pardon me? What?
No, we could put that on a T-shirt when it comes to Era, but you and I go back with her a long time. Okay.
But I I fell in love with Al because he was like me. We both started radio when we were 15, basically knocking on a station door, going, "Give me a job, give me a job, give me a job." But
Yeah.
I went like Al.
That's what I did too. Yeah, yeah.
That was the only way to get in.
I saw Nova Scotia in there somewhere, didn't I, Al?
Yeah, that's where I started. So I graduated barely high school in 75. At that time, like you said, nobody knew how to get into radio. I had a guidance counselor who said, I have a friend, I can call him. And that person was Gord Sinclair, that my guidance counselor called. And he told me, well, this is what Mr. Sinclair said, how you should get into radio. And Sinclair said, and he quoted Gord Sinclair and said, what's he doing in school? He should be working. And that was music to my ears. I said, I don't want to be here. I'm bored with school. I hated it. I wanted to be the guy on the radio. So I graduated high school summer of 75. In July, the following month, because graduation in June, took off through the Maritimes, knocking on doors of every radio station I could find between Montreal and however long it took. I had, I think, maybe $100 in my pocket and had a terrible beat-up Vauxhall that I drove. And luckily, didn't break down. I got to Sydney, Nova Scotia, knocked on the door. Guy opened the door, and I said, "Hi, do you need somebody? Here's my high school radio station demo tape." And he says, "Well, come on in. Let's have a listen to it. We need somebody tonight." And that's how I started. I was on the air that night.
Wow. What station was that? Which station was that?
CHER in
CHER.
Sydney, Nova Scotia. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does it still exist?
Apparently, well, it's been taken over by an FM, but yeah, the company is still around. Well, company may have changed hands, but yeah.
Wow. Because I was
so I did
talking.
It was summer replacement. I was terrible. I didn't know what I was doing. It was awful.
And you were doing announce op and learning all the buttons and everything else. Yeah, that's what I went through as well.
And
isn't that amazing?
Rip and read news.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Top of every hour, you'd go get whatever came off the teletype and decide what you were going to do and read it. And so I did everything. Did that for 2 months. And they said, okay, well, it's about time you should go somewhere else and learn your craft a little more. And I was terrible. I think I still have a tape buried somewhere. I'm afraid to listen to it. So then I came back to Montreal and got on the technical side. So I was an op at CFMB, the ethnic station here in Montreal.
CFMB, right.
And then CKGM hired me again as an op, and I started on the all-night show and worked my way down to working with Lockwood in the mornings. And I stayed there for a year and a half.
Ralph Lockwood. Wow.
And learned how to do real radio. Yeah.
Were you his op?
Yes. Yeah. So there was Crazy Bruce, there was Happy Howard, and there was Amorous Al. So I worked with Lockwood for about a year. I was his op. I was at CKGM for a year and a half. We did the Olympic breakfast in 76. And then it was time to get back on the radio, and I took off to Northern Ontario and started back on the air again.
Where did you work there?
CJWA in Wawa, Ontario.
Wawa,
My
Ontario.
God.
Yes,
Wawa.
okay.
Awful.
Yeah.
I got there and I said, what have I done? Because I came from CKGM, right? At that time, 76, 77, CKGM was like number one everywhere. I mean, I worked with the best of the best, from Donnie Burns to Mike Cooper, Steve Shannon, Ralph
Mike Cooper.
Lockwood,
I worked with
Robert
Mike Cooper in
Hall.
North Bay, Ontario. Yes, Mike
shoot.
Cooper.
What a talent, right?
Wow. Yes.
He was
okay.
so-
So no, I worked at CFCH and CKAT back in North Bay days too. So CJWA. Wow.
Yeah. And then I went to CKCY in Sault Ste. Marie. Their mothership. Stayed there for about 8 months to a year, somewhere in there. And I said, I have to position myself to a major market. I got to get out of this small town crap. I had a ball, don't get me wrong.
But there's something to be said about coming up through the farm teams, isn't there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it was difficult because I came from CKGM, working with the best, and I was figuring out how to do radio. Oh my God, there's show prep. Oh, wow, yeah, you got to know what to talk about, because my first job was just that was awful, you know. So going from there into the small town was it was brutal, but I had fun. You know, you can make all your mistakes and everything else. So I went from there, and looking at the map of Canada, I said, well, okay, what do I do? Oh, I want to go to Winnipeg, because at the time, Winnipeg was the most competitive Canadian radio market
Wow.
ever, because it had 4 stations. They did the same format. And I was like, so it was just like the rumor mill was saying, yeah, Winnipeg's the place to go. So I got a job in Brandon, Manitoba. It was maybe an hour and a half drive outside of Winnipeg. There was a huge 50,000 watt radio station there. So I applied to that station, and they hired me. And I was like, come on in, we can do swing. So it meant 2 all-night shows and 2 weekend shifts. They moved me. I got there after 4 days. CFRW, the chum station in Winnipeg, hired me. I had to go back to the program director and say, I'm sorry, I got hired away. Here's my letter of resignation after 4 days.
Wow.
They paid my gas. They paid a couple of days in a hotel while I found an apartment. I just signed a lease. Oh my God. Anyway, so I took off to Winnipeg, and I stayed there for 3 years. I did 1 station per year in Winnipeg. I worked at CFRW. I did all nights. I had a new PD come in who was just a jerk. I had to get out. I went across the street. I worked for CKY, a big 50,000 watt AM station. Ron Abel was my program director. There's a name.
Yep.
He left there to become morning man at Chaume. He was originally from Montreal. Then a new PD came in, fired my butt, and then City FM, the FM station downstairs, progressive rock. Well, they didn't call it progressive rock then, but it was a rock station. So I worked with, oh God.
So how many stations in total?
Well, I'm trying to add them up here too. So
yeah.
CJWA, CKCY, CKX Brandon, CFRW. Well, hang on, I missed one. CHER. Do you want the opping stations too, or not?
Sure. Yeah, that's where you start.
Okay, so CHER, CFMB, CKGM, then CJWA, CKCY, CKX, CFRW, KY58 or CKY, City FM, Chaume, and then from Chaume was Mix 96 or CJFM at the time, and then I worked at WECF down in the States,
Burlington.
And then
that's a whole other story too.
And then they bought Chaume again, so I was back on Chaume again, so I did that. Yeah, there's been a few.
Okay, all right, and you still have your hair, which is quite something.
Yes, I do. Well, it's getting a little higher, but yeah.
No, but still, we sort of kind of toss these things off, but it's hard on the system, it's hard on the brain, it's hard on the body. There's a whole lot of waking up at 2:00 in the morning, and you don't know which city you're in, and wow. Yeah,
well, you too. Like, you know, you started radio the same way I did. Era started the same way. You know, we're all the same, and it is nerve-wracking, but at the same time, it's fun. I mean, you know, we had the best of times,
there's nothing.
The worst of times. It can be,
you know?
We
like
worked
Eric, you and I have had some PDs that shouldn't have been PDs. They were barely human beings.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
Yes.
We won't mention the names,
true.
but we know who they are.
Right.
And hopefully they know who they are.
No, but when you get a good PD, and you know when
and PD is a program director, the person who oversees your work.
Yeah, but that's always it's easier to get a good co-host than it is to get a great PD. But I mean, we were lucky, and when we were working at Shome, we had so much fun. And then I don't know, did you ever do any remotes, Yvan?
Oh yes, I was. I used to do. I started. My very first remote was for a giant tiger in North Bay, Ontario.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah, and they were practically giving away white bread at 19 cents a loaf or something like that.
I think they still are.
They probably still are on a Saturday afternoon, and I was there cranking out that white bread at 19 cents a loaf. Yeah. Well, that was back in the day when Bell had to show up and install a line, right?
Yes.
And stick it into a doodad there, and boy, oh boy.
You had the green phone.
That's right, the green phone. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that I did as many remotes as you guys did. I only did a few back in the day, but that can be it can be quite trying when somebody comes up to you and you're on the air and he says, "You know where the bathroom is? Can you tell me where the bathroom is?"
Yeah. Yeah. Or have somebody come up while you're at your little booth doing whatever, wherever it may be, and they come up and say, "You didn't say it was on approved credit." I said, "Well, yes." I said, "Details in store. That's the detail, like the most important detail." Well, I can't. They said no to me, but I have credit at the bar down the street. And I said, "Well, go to the bar down the street, borrow the money, and come back." And I was like, "Oh, screw you."
Yeah.
I've had that.
Yeah. Stories
It's
could go
also
on.
a great place to meet your stalkers as well. So there's that. I say that jokingly. That's a serious thing, but
it's fun, and there was good money.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And
not only did you have your on-air shift, but you had your remote deck, so that was kind of
Now, how did the American arm of this come about?
My parents were born in the States, but lived here. I was born and raised in Montreal. And they're mostly Canadian too. When they moved from the States to Canada, they were very young. And so being at CJD, I got to do, well, you were at CJ too, Eva.
Oh, yes.
You got to do all these shows with different guests, and every now and then we'd have an immigration lawyer. And I sort of paid attention to some of the shows that I was doing. They wouldn't go in one eye and out the other and one ear out the other. It actually sunk in. And every couple of years, U.S. immigration would change, and that you could pursue an American citizenship if one or both of your parents were American. And I was like, oh,
right.
Wow. So we had a program director come in at CJFM, or Mix 96 at the time, when my wife was pregnant. So I'm saving up to buy diapers and formula. And he says, "Well, we're going to cut your pay." I go, "Oh, you can't do that." I was at CJD and Mix 96. He said, "We're going to cut your pay." It wasn't like oodles of money that we were making, but he cut my pay. And I said, "Well, you can't do that." He goes, "Well, sorry, business is business." Well, I hate that. Business is business. I understand it now, but business is business. Screw you. So I pursued my American citizenship. I went and talked to Rob Braid, the general manager, and I said, "Rob, do you mind if I go work in the States?" And I think he thought I was bluffing, but I had started the process of that happening. And Braid said, "Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Change your name." Oh, okay. So I phoned up after that meeting. I hadn't even called the radio station in the States. I didn't even know, like I got the word that my citizenship was coming. There was no problem, but I hadn't received anything official. So I phoned up WEZF out of the phone book. Like right after a meeting with Braid, I phoned them up and I said, "Do you need an announcer?" And he goes, "Well, yes, come on down next week." And I had my interview. Within 2 days, I was told to come by the U.S. consulate and pick up your social security card. You get the forms for your passport and all that stuff. It's like, oh my God. So I went to the consulate, put my right hand on the Bible, and yes, I'm an American. And I felt that big door open, like, oh my God, I can work anywhere in North America. This is so cool. So I went for my interview at WEZF, and they hired me. They said, "Yeah, you can do love songs at night." It was WEZF 92.9 in Burlington, Colchester. the way the exchange rate worked is that I would get a check for maybe, I don't know, $300 for a week of work, and it would double because of the exchange rate. I was like, this is cool. So I worked there for about 4 years, like off and on, and commuting. I was commuting for a while there when the work at CJD and Mix was just on weekends. So through the week, I was going back and forth to WEZF, doing that for a while. And that was pretty cool. So that's how that started. Then, speaking of remotes, a little while ago, Rowan Martineau came calling. Hey, Monsieur Gravelle, we need a spokesperson. Could you be our spokesperson for the remotes? Oh, how much does that pay? Oh, wow. So my radio station salary, 2 stations. It was swing, not much. And the Rowan Martineau remotes. And that was like every 2 weeks on remote. And I started doing those before they had Sunday shopping. So it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Then Sunday shopping came in. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I was like, wow, that's lucrative. So I eventually stopped WEZF, continued with CJD, Virgin, or Mix 96, and Rowan Martineau. And Era got some Rowan Martineau stuff as well. So every now and then we would be doing store openings and store closings and big events at the Centre de Liquidation and the big warehouse sale and all that stuff. And
Oh, I love the warehouse sale.
those were crazy. They'd get 8 of us together, 4 English and 4 French guys.
Yeah. And the trick there was we would try to crack each other up while we were on the air, or just make a lot of noise, and Sylvain would go on and he'd go, shh, Sylvain, so he would start to speak big words, and we'd all scream and yell and clap in the background because we were adults.
Sure we were. I remember putting duct tape as Dean Agopian was doing his broadcast. He had his microphone there, and he was in a chair with armrests. Can you see the armrests here? Anyways.
Yep.
And we'd put duct tape on his arms and tape him up to his chair as he's on the air.
While he's on the air, yeah.
He did not crack up. He didn't lose it at all. This is like hilarious. So so we'd have fun like that. Kids.
Yeah. I had a guy back at CFCH who would set fire to my news copy while I was on the air. He'd just come in with his Bic lighter and just...
I did that to Richard Dagenet.
Oh, nice.
It was my newsman at Shome, right? The electric lunch hour starts at noon, and I lit it on fire. I thought it was a hot story.
And then you start reading really, really fast because the third paragraph is disappearing.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we could do 3 hours on that alone. Anyway, we got some photographs here, Alan.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're in the right order, but please talk about these things.
Just for laughs.
Just for laughs. That was Alonzo Bowden, I think. Right?
Oh, that's who
right.
that is. Okay, Alonzo. All right.
Yeah,
yes, I know.
Before he went on to become a big, huge star in America, he
was on his way up, and he was so funny. So they would do their set wherever that would be at Théâtre Saint-Denis or whatever venue. They would go to the bar, which was right across from where we were set up, and go get liquored up and schmooze with the business. Hollywood was there, TV.
Comedy Central,
industry people. And then they'd come out and see us, and we'd give them a microphone and say, come and talk to us. And, oh my God. There were
so this was the Just for Laughs. We're just going to remind folks here what this is. Okay.
So just for laughs,
late night at the Laugh Zone on CJD.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
5 hours live every night, 125 interviews a week.
Oh, at least. And every year we did that. I can't remember how many years we did.
About 11 years.
11 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So there was at least a couple of days every year of that broadcast where I would go in the next day, sort of skulking around the program director's office to see if we still had a job.
Yes.
Because I got so worried, like some comedian. We have a delay on CJD, but a lot of times, you'd look at the guy who was producing it on site, and I said, "Did you get that?" He goes, "What?" It was like, "Oh no, you were doomed."
Now,
And this is
this is when we did that documentary about the Casey case, about the famous Quebec pilot who flew to Casey Airport in Quebec and brought $1 million worth of cocaine with him. And Al and I, that was our first job during COVID. So I was
Yeah.
directing, and Al was many people because Al and I both
Yeah,
did
that's true. Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
wow.
That was fun. That was a fun project.
That was a great project.
That was at Harmony Studios, which just recently burnt
Burnt
down.
up, I
It was that
know.
building right beside the Jacques Cartier Bridge.
That's right.
Yeah, that's too
Oh,
bad.
I didn't know that went up.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
and who are these young folks?
Oh, yes.
That was the
Former
promo
selves.
for obviously 2006, where we were both hanging onto a lamppost. I don't know whose idea
Yeah,
that
well,
was.
it was a windy day, and we needed to do that because we're skinny.
Yeah, because but you both weigh about 98 pounds.
Exactly.
Right, don't
Yeah. Well, it's the
God.
radio diet, right? Craft dinner.
Jeez.
Ooh. Hey, on payday we put hot dogs in it.
There's
Oh, that's
Al
me.
at a board. Is that Shom? No.
That's Shom. That's Shom.
Oh, is
in
it?
the old
Okay.
house. Yeah.
All right.
And the old haunted house. Yeah.
And all
That's
the
right.
cartridges, all the carts in the back there.
Oh.
That's
Albums
long
were behind
gone
me.
too, eh?
Turntables on the left side. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you had to
Yeah.
be an octopus. And
Yeah.
the worst thing that happened, Al, was we'd stock up an hour's worth of parts before our
Parts.
shift,
And it all
and
come
every once in a
falling
while someone would come in and
down. Yeah. Yeah. But you'd have your coffee, your cigarettes, in those
Yes, that's
days.
right. Back in the day, you used to be able to
Oh, yeah.
smoke in the control room, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I used
yeah,
to.
you needed
I remember at CFRA, the chief engineer would come in and scream at everybody because the tar and the junk would gum up the pots and everything, right? It was just awful. How terrible was that?
Well, the thing about Shom in the old house is what they would do. The engineers would come in and not bitch about the tar and all that. It was the little bits of hash that would fall down into
Oh,
the
I see. Well, no, I hadn't really reached that point when I was.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Of course, I
And
won't.
one of the engineers is actually in this picture that we're looking at. There's Joanne Rudy on the right-hand side, or maybe to your left, or whatever it is. And then Jeff Smith is the next person next to Mark Denis.
Mark Denis.
Oh, Marc Denis.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Marc Le Genou, as we used to call him. And this is a big group here. Who we got here?
That was a Fort Street reunion.
Okay.
That was.
Oh, that's right. That is the
Stafford-
Fort Street door. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't recognize
that
it
was
right away.
CJD, Virgin, and Shom, I think. I
Yep,
don't know. Yeah. Okay.
yep.
Yeah.
It was it was mixed. It was Mix 96. It wasn't Virgin yet. It was Mix 96.
Okay.
And Shom and CJD. I remember they had a smoking room, and it was so disgusting. Like even if you didn't smoke
Yes.
and you went to take a break and talk to someone, you walked out and it was like,
Yeah.
oh,
I remember that too. Here's another group shot. I recognize DeMonte there, and
Yeah, that was another reunion, another get together on Crescent Street. I think we were at Ziggy's Pub there.
yeah.
Okay.
Every now
Ziggy's
and
the
then
home.
we'd get together about once every year and a half or something, and it was always fun. I mean, we were
That's
a
great.
good group, you know.
yeah.
Radio stations were places that you would want to hang out. Even on your day off, you would go there because the camaraderie between friends.
Yeah, because you
also-
lived on the same clock, more or less, and the
Yeah.
same habits and all of that. Yes, I miss that
Exactly.
a lot.
Yeah.
And who
I
was
remember
this?
Oh, that's my character. Era and I did cartoon work for Sinar,
Oh,
and that was my reoccurring character, Mr. Morris, on Arthur.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Successful series.
Yeah, yeah. So part of being on radio, you would do commercials, right? That's part of your income, part of the job. And early 80s, Sinar came about, and they were doing really well, Caillou and a bunch of others. And it was, we had, Era and I have a mutual friend, Andrew Grin, and he was one of the people involved with Arthur. And he brought me in anyways, and introduced me to the main director, Deborah Toffin. And I auditioned for this character. And he ended up to be like a regular recurring role and that sort of thing. And I was on Arthur for, my God, I a few years and
Yep.
many episodes, at least 10. Still getting
Wow.
a very,
He
very
looks like you too with the
tiny
glasses.
residual check.
I was going to say, the more I look at him, the more he reminds me of Alan. Okay.
Well, okay,
Other-
so when we do cartoon work, right?
Yep,
Like you
yep.
see on Entertainment Tonight and Access Hollywood, all these shows where you get these movie stars coming in to do voice work. Well, the film is already done. The character is already done, drawn.
Mhm.
Well, when
Mm.
Aaron and I went in to do our voice work, they were stick figures, stick figures, and it was a variety of ideas of what the character was doing. They weren't sure about the storyline. They said, well, the character might be walking to work. Oh, the character might trip and fall here. Or so we had all these, but they give us a book of our sides, our lines, with little stick figure drawings. And then it would go off to wherever they'd animate it, somewhere.
Korea or yeah.
Yeah. So what I heard was that the artists are going by the sound of your voice. So eventually the character comes up and probably will look like you a bit.
Yep.
So
Isn't that
if I
interesting?
was going to look like a dog, that would be me.
Isn't that wild? That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it was pretty
Now, the
cool.
group
That was
shot here.
fun, though. That was some of the hardest work I've ever done, cartoon work.
Wow.
And really fun too.
Now, the group
Oh.
shot here, there's Al. That's Cindy Aikman, I think, next to you. Is that
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yep.
That I think was the CKGM reunion. We're all wearing yellow pins. Yeah. It was the CKGM reunion. Mark Denis. Whoops, my mic just turned off. Can you
I
hear
can
me?
still hear you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can
Yeah,
still
oh,
hear.
okay.
Yeah, that was
All
me, just coughing here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was the CKGM reunion. Mark Denis threw that. I had the pin, and it's okay. It's back there.
Oh, it was so
But,
much fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Christine
Yeah.
Long,
And-
Ken Connors. Oh, and
Yeah.
the K103.
Oh,
And you
God,
were
yeah.
programmed. Speaking of PDs, were you a good PD at K103 there, Al?
I thought so. Well, okay, let's get to that. So
This is
So
Ganawagi.
So I
Yeah.
worked. I was doing Bro and Martineau for Shome, CJD, and Virgin. I was also on the air for all three of them, and that sort of ran its course by 2012. That year, I got a call from one of the guys at Bro and Martineau. We think we're going to go in another direction, and I was doing Bro and Martineau remotes for 22 years.
Yeah.
My God, and that's what kept me here, as opposed to moving to the States, because I could have. I have my U.S. passport. But Bro and Martineau kept me here with a young son, so I could stay in Montreal. My family is from here, so I stayed here. I stopped working at WEZF and doing Bro and Martineau remotes. And then Bro decided to make a bit of a change. Whatever the change that was, I have no idea. And then the job at K103 came up. Now that's where Ted Bird worked when he went from Shome and maybe a couple of other
of course,
stations, and then
yes.
ended up at K103. Well, it didn't work out for Ted there, so he left, and K103 put out the word that they wanted a program director. And I said, well, I've only been assistant program director. I've been music director, but I've never been program director. This way I can be program director. I don't have to move away to a small town. I have a house, I have a wife, kid. I don't want to move. But I can be PD in a small town and not have to move away. So in my head, it was, I'll do that for a while, and then maybe I can go be program director at Shome. Let's see what happens. So 2012, I got hired as program director at K103. We had the chance to move from a decrepit old house. That's the old studio that you see there. Very cramped. It was an old house. Air conditioning was only used to keep the computers cool. It would be 40 degrees outside. We'd be sweating in the studio. There would be bees and hornets dropping down from the ventilation trying to get
God.
cool.
Wow.
Oh, God, it was
Outstanding.
awful. Oh,
God.
my God. So as I got there and went through the interview process, and they said, yes, you're hired and you can do this. And they paid me more money than I thought, because I really didn't want to do it, but I did want to do it. They paid me more money than I thought was going to come. And I figured, what the hell? I'll do it for 2 years. Worst comes to worst, I'll quit. Anyways, I stayed. I stayed for 5.5 years because they said, well, we're moving to a brand new building. We have $1.3 million in government money to fund a new building. I go, oh, this will be fun. They said, come up with a format. We want to change everything. But, you've got your staff. You can hire more staff. You have a bit of a budget. The people there, like, the station was so promising. It had some good people. It had some people who were taking advantage of the place, taking money and whatever. So I got rid of those idiots and kept some people that would work out. And we're so close to Montreal. I brought an engineer who was in a previous picture with Joe and Rudy. So Jeff Smith he was living up north, but there was another guy, Mike Mitsu, who has now left us, but he was just a genius. He was an amazing engineer. So I got him. I said, Mike, we're moving to a brand new building. You can help me do the installation and everything else. And so he jumped at the chance. His passion was radio and just loved every minute of it. He knew a native guy who worked with him from time to time. And I said, well, I'm going to bring Sid de Gaspé in with me. So I have 2 engineers, 2 of the best, to move into a brand new building, brand new equipment, design the studios the way we needed, everything. It was just perfect. It was really
that's
cool.
great fun. And the engineers are the unsung heroes of this whole thing too, aren't they?
Yeah. one hell of a challenge.
Wow.
But we started to make money. It was like I changed the format to something that was I always had it in my mind that if you had a family in the car, mother, father, and then 2 kids in the back, within half an hour, anybody in that car would hear something they like. So that was the idea. I didn't want to compete against Virgin or Q92 or Shom or The Buzz. I wanted to be right in the middle with little bits. And at the time, Shom's music director was not from Montreal. So he was picking up stuff that it had nothing to do with rock. It was just really the strangest stuff. So it made it easier for me. So we started playing
you sound like a PD, Alan.
Yeah, I tried to be. And we had
well, it's a very. I spoke with Paul Grafe a few years ago, and
there you go.
It's a vibrant place. That's that station really buzzes along. So good on you. And that's
and Paul's still there.
Yes, he is. I remember I connected with him on a podcast. He was on the air, so I just sat there talking to myself for a few minutes, and he came over and chatted with me. And Paul's a good egg. Paul's a good guy.
Yeah, he is.
A couple more shots here. This is the CJD baseball team. I think.
Yeah. That's Peter Anthony Holder and Michael Libling.
Oh, that's Peter. Okay.
Michael Libling did the trivia show with Dave Fisher.
Right.
Yeah, and Peter Anthony Holder, of course, he does the stuff file. He still does. Yeah,
he certainly does.
Yeah.
Speaking with Peter not too long ago, and
cool.
This is again. This is someone on the left here.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's 90 pounds then.
I can't really see.
That's Drew
Carvey. Drew Carey.
Oh,
Drew Carey?
Yeah, well, I didn't recognize him because he was big and jolly then. Now he's skinny and whatever now.
Yeah, but that was very special. Like the Just Laugh thing was crazy, and Stuart Nelman was on with us because Stuart has as Al used to say, you always have to have a Melvin. But Stuart had this encyclopedic knowledge of, and still does, of comedy, and he came on, and I can't remember the original singer, but Stuart started singing "Hello Mutta, Hello Fada." That was
right.
Steve Allen.
Alan Sherman.
No.
Sorry, yeah.
Alan Sherman, yes.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we've got once again, our op hated us because he said you have 5 mics. That's all you get. And we ended up the evening by having 12 people around the table. It was a free
Yeah.
for all. And there were
I
some
can.
times where we laughed
Yeah.
so hard. One night, Rich Guzzi, who was a New York comic, came on with Alonzo Bowden and did a, shall we say, adult version of Star Wars.
Ah,
Oh,
And
that's. Ooh.
I literally fell out of my seat and I was on the floor dying, wrapped around Al's ankle, just laughing so hard.
Yeah. And don't forget, we're positioned right outside the bar. So they
yes,
would go get liquored up, they go do the schmoozing they needed to do, and then they
yes.
come and see us after a few drinks.
I
Yes.
Here,
remember
have a
where
mic.
that booth was. We got one more
Yeah.
shot here.
Ah,
Oh, who was
the
that?
50th anniversary party of Shom FM.
I didn't see that. It
I know.
disappeared.
I chose that out of my little pile. That's
Okay.
Blair Bartram,
Yeah.
Al
Okay,
Gravelle.
that's who that is. Okay. All right.
Yeah, Blair Bartram, who Blair goes way back. Was he the original stunt guy on what? Because Blair worked for a long time at Show. I can't, but yeah. So that's Blair Bartram, Al Gravelle, and I didn't remember my hair as that blonde for some reason.
Well, time
Yeah.
time
But Blair
flies.
had been. Blair was program director of CJF. Yeah, CJF.
Yeah.
CJFM.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
FM 96. Or
Yeah.
yeah.
And stayed there, and then sort of back and forth for a bit. They'd ship him off to Toronto, and then he'd come back to CJFM for a while. I think he's in Toronto now still. But yeah,
There's
no,
a lot of stuff.
Blair was a nice
Amazing.
guy. Yeah, yeah.
Now, and you're still working, Alan.
I do voice. I'm a voice. I'm just a voice. I was going to change my name to press 9 for English. I do a lot of phone. I do a lot of phone stuff, but I also do cybersecurity, a lot of government, really boring government narrations. Like it's cybersecurity. It's for insurance companies and that sort of thing. So it's a lot of training, e-learning.
Yeah.
which is
Yep.
cool.
That's what I did too. Is
Yeah.
AI kind of creeping in there?
Oh my God, I've licensed my voice to AI because I had a friend who said, you should do this because people are going to steal your voice because it'd be very easy to find. I mean, Google the name and I'll come up and you can probably find a demo of me doing something or other. So I went through a company where you can clone your voice and license it to this
Right.
company.
Yep.
So that's what I've done. I've made a whopping $3.70 US so far.
And also a small reminder that both Al and I used, and you've done this too, Yvan, I think that 80s, 90s, 2000s, that film companies, when there was a lot of film work being done here, that they would hire radio people, to play reporters. But Al's most famous role was lamppost number 3 on the left. We used to, because we'd be in as day players, but they were like, one-liner. And it was so much fun. I never called
Good guy
myself an
number 3.
actor,
No.
but Al did a lot of those too.
But Ari, you wanted to be an actor more than I
Yes.
did. Like
Well, I did. I went to theater school.
when I first came after you to get on the air with me, you were quite involved working
Yeah.
Some of All Fears and a couple of other productions that you were with, right?
Oh, geez, I forget about that. It's like, but well, I did, but I also quickly realized how hard it was to have a career as an actor. I played a reporter in so many films. I worked with Dolph Lundgren, with Morgan Freeman, with what was the name of that actor from All of That Jazz who was very famous? But I got to work with a lot of great actors, and I did. But on Some of All Fears, I wasn't an actor. I was actually an extra director. The company, a friend of ours, Kathy Wolf, said, "How'd you like to come in and direct 10,000 people?" And I said, "No." I said, "There's no way I could do it. I don't have the personality for it." It's I honestly believe that at the time. I was terrified, and then I went in the first day and they had a guy from New York, but he didn't speak French, so he got fired. And I did it for an entire week. And I wore one of those like Britney Spears microphones, and
Right.
it was the big scene at the end of the movie. It's a Ben Affleck film, Morgan Freeman,
Yeah.
and the guy who played the farmer in the Babe movie, whose name escapes me, but had to basically run across the inside of the Olympic Stadium all day. And there was two imaginary football teams. There was the Alouettes and the Argonauts. So I get to spend a whole week, and it was crazy because to get their attention, and because it's a long day being an extra, especially when there's that many of you. And we didn't even have it full. There were a lot of cardboard cutouts too to fill it in, but there was a Kia commercial on that time where they had an Australian guy driving through the outback, and he'd go, "Aye." So that was my rallying cry when I came in the morning. I'd say, "Aye," and 10,000 people would say it back. And to this day, I still get ayes.
Wow. Really?
That's what, but that's that is
wild.
Al and I, and that's where radio leads you.
Well,
Yeah,
Al,
it can. There were, sorry.
Yeah. No, I was going to, please continue.
There were a lot of people that would work different radio shifts and sometimes a swing shift, which would be basically fill in. You'd do 2 all nights and a couple of weekend shifts. So you'd have the week free. Or, if we're doing remotes, well, the remotes started on a Thursday. So you got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday free. I was like, okay, well, what the heck am I going to do?
Right.
And you'd pick up extra work here and there. Like I worked with Chris O'Donnell in Love and War. The director was Richard Attenborough. Oh my God, this is the guy who owns Jurassic Park. That was going through my head, right? Oh, very cool. So you got a few little experiences like that, which was kind of neat, and it paid pretty well. Anybody who was an extra, some people made a living doing it. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, with me it was just I wanted to be the guy on the radio. That was since I was 5. I wanted to be the guy on the radio, and I was, So now I do voice work because if I pick up a tool, I hurt myself. So I'd rather not, So I talk.
Alan, it's been great chatting with you. Thank you so much for your time. This is fun.
Thank you. Yeah, this was really cool. Good to see you. It's been a while. Jeez.
Yes, good to see you too, buddy. And bonne année to you and
Hey,
to your family as well.
And happy Groundhog Day, by the way.
Happy Groundhog Day. That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Fred Lamarmont did see his shadow. So 6 more weeks.
6 more weeks of heavy drinking. Or no, that's we shouldn't say that now. Whatever.
That's back in the radio days.
It was healthy for you, but now it's not. I don't know.
Yes.
Don't keep track.
10 out of 9 doctors.
Good to see you. Take care.
Ciao.
Bye.